way, but they're being sucked in by the mind. Can't get its head around that there's nothing to get. There's still, for the mind, has to be something in this. And then they keep going and keep going, and then they get so far into it they realize, okay, there is nothing in here for me. This is, and then they can't get out. I think that's the lion's mouth, Lark.
Yeah, no, it's huge.
Sort of bullshit though, too. Yeah.
But do you know what I find really weird? That I always find it almost really strange that people, like so many people, that doesn't happen to. It's like, how can you listen to, you know, non-duality or something for the first time and not be hooked? You know, that always seems to, because obviously you're coming from your, you know, your own experience, and it's like when I first heard it, I was just like, yeah, it was like head in the tiger's mouth or whatever. It was just,
yeah. You're so used to, you see, you come to it with so many stories, and you are actually made, if you were to picture the visual body, it's like a woven thing that is woven, completed in story, from top to bottom story. And they go into this expecting to weave this story into that story, and that they can get something from this to make their story bigger. And then in their sensory body, they'll have got something from that. But they go in there, and more than likely, the first couple of times they'll get, depending on the type of person, some people, like, it sounds like you were kind of just totally ready for that. Other people like me kind of go in and go, yeah, but there must be something in here. And I get my finger bitten off the first time. And then maybe I go back and go, what exactly was that? What was going on in that meeting? That, even though there was obviously nothing, but then you see the other side of it is that you're not doing anything. That's just happening, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You're just, that's just the happening. That's just this, which is so boring for the mind. It's just, it's so boring. My mind's just going, well, that's just so boring. So boring. But
no, it's not a good one. Is it?
Nothing you can do, like.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a curse, actually, that one. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
But you even say the falling away, like the falling away of me. That is a thing that you would have read and gone, okay, that sounds interesting. I never heard about that before. And it sounds like a thing that can happen, whatever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, and of course, and that's why mystical poetry is so beguiling. When you first read, you know, when you're reading that and you don't know what it means, it's like wow. And then when you kind of know what it's about, you sort of think, you know, you bastard. You know, it's not poetry anymore. It's just, you know, it's so obvious. You know, why are you writing a poem about this? You know, that's, you know, you're just trying to, I don't know, like, why write a poem about, I don't know, love or hate or whatever, but not this.
Yeah, how can you write a poem about this? Like, I mean, I suppose there's intimations of it. Like, I was looking everywhere, and everywhere reminded me of this, and everything is a reminder in a way. You know, you hear can be a reminder, you know, that the loudest thing in the room is this, and it can be a thing where everything is a reminder. But then when it comes to still, I don't know why I keep saying, but there's this. But then just because it's fun, why wouldn't you then? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you write a poem? Probably because it's fun. Sorry, yeah.
Well, because it's kind of phony. A lot of the poems are put into words, or they're only poetry if you don't understand what this is. I don't know. They're not usually written from this. I think that's what it is. I mean, a lot of the mystical poetry doesn't seem to be written from this. It's written from the ego to ego or whatever. I don't know. It's mind to mind stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I think that wine's in me. I'm not articulating very well.
You're in a perfect place then. This is the place to be. This is definitely the place to be, I think. Yeah, I'm after a cousin of that. 5.8%.
Right, okay. Well, mine's pretty standard, 5.8. That's quite strong for a beer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Right.
It's tasty, though. It's tasty and it's good for me. There's new studies coming out, I think, someday soon. The 2 beers is a lovely amount.
Two beers. If you could just keep that 2 beer feel, probably.
2 beers, you kind of get that's the best part is the 2 beers. Then you probably don't need more, but I always do have more, so I shouldn't say that. But.
Yeah, you have to. It's the process, isn't it? It's just. It's just what happens. Yeah. Happened when you were down here. I'm quite naughty. I don't normally drink red wine, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't know. What were we saying? Something amazing.
So what's your experience like now then for you? I mean, are you quite, is everything quite good, okay? What's yours?
Well, I think there's just what's happening. And so
right.
at the moment, I feel nice from the beers, and I'm enjoying chatting to you, and that's it. It's kind of very nice.
Okay.
I think it just depends. I mean, the only thing that I could say is there's an openness to what is happening that actually was always there. I think this was happened 20 years ago, which might sound ridiculous. I think this happened 20 years ago. I think it was seen 20 years ago. And I think I find it very hard to believe that but I think now on reflection, I think this was, which now sounds absolutely, if I'm saying it after doing podcasts and movies and all that type of thing, but I think it was seen 20 years ago.
If it was seen 20 years ago, did you find it very difficult to own then, or to kind of like,
well, you see, I think that everywhere I went, I was so used to stories, and then I thought, okay, when I hear about stories of dropping away of a me, I think, okay, so there is a me that has to drop away.
Right. Okay. Right.
So, but it's probably should have heard, but there's this. But I don't know. I can't really say what I'm. But that's the sense I had, that this is always known, and maybe it was seen 20 years ago, but it's always only ever been this.
Right.
But I actually think it could have been 20 years ago. But then I can't be. I'm only actually saying that out loud now, so I don't know if that's definitely true. Is that possible? Anything is possible. But it's definitely seen 20 years ago. The no thing was seen, because now it just feels. Maybe it's admitting it now, and that this idea that there's this, which is fucking nothing, and that could be terrifying. And it also includes everything, and everything else is a story. But everybody else seems to just talk so well and articulately, and
that's it. Yeah.
Fantastically, and to talk about liberation and fucking wonder and bliss, and I go, oh right, okay, so it's not this then.
No, I think the mind can doubt it, and yet the experience is, because it's viscerally different, because there is no, well, for me, there's no sense of body or here, actually. But yet the mind can still doubt. what you know, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah, the man is definitely still doubting. Yeah.
yeah, that's just what it does. I mean, it's got nothing better to do. And then sometimes it's just not there, and it's just, yeah, when it's, but even if it is doubting, the experience is still almost like empty space.
Yeah.
It's just,
It's just doubt. It's just thoughts of doubt. Because,
yeah,
like, I distinctly, it's only maybe somehow that I remember 20 years ago walking around going, I'm not here. How is this possible? I'm not here. Did they?
uh,
They can see I'm not here. I better. I better. I'm not. I found that terrifying.
right, okay,
And
you're
I
not,
kind of slowly but surely maybe just adapted that is how, I don't know. I mean, this could be absolute horse manure. That's just a sense I have at the moment that it, that's how it feels, that this happened 20 years ago, and but it's only in, I don't know, recent
no, I,
times. Go
yeah,
on,
but
sorry.
what, before I, you know, had the experience, well, experience, but everything fall away, nothing and everything. I remember becoming aware of like or just there's no one here. That was the sort of thinking. I thought I'm going mad. I'm mental. I'm schizophrenic, or like I'm just gone psychotic or something. And before the kind of when everything disappeared and there were just everything, which was connected as well because it was just unconditional love as well. So after that, I found it very hard to understand what my problem was with the there's nothing here, you know, because it started before that. There seemed to be a story of breaking down, like walking around, going for a walk, and hearing my thoughts and what the fuck is that? You know, that's not me. What is it? What is it? It's mad. You know, just sort of like starting to realize it. It just seemed to be falling bit by bit, falling apart before that. But of course, it's not really falling apart. I mean, that's how it seems anyway. But
Yeah,
uh,
that's interesting because then in the end, it kind of is. It's not like it's always known. It's just that all the knowings are wrong. They're not correct. It's just stories. I mean, it's. Oh, I don't know. It's unbelievable too. I suppose maybe yeah. It is actually unbelievable. Every single thing. And then maybe that's, it's not it's an awakening to no awakening.
yep. It's, yeah, I guess it's undramatic. I think it levels the experience after that as well because there's that sort of, I don't know, nothing has the impact it used to have as well. Like there is a real before and after in the story of time with that because it's not like the bright lights of a vision or an ecstatic experience. It's actually just it just takes away everything. It is proper death. It's just death. Like
Yeah, it's death, except death is laden with all these ideas that we have of what death is, and yet we're so, whatever this thing is that lives in time, is constantly putting down the map or the flag to say this is who I am, but constantly, no matter what it's greeted with, what experience, it'll, even if it's brand new and say it's a terrifying experience, then that's the new landmark of what is, and that's held on to somehow as being the real story in time and in space. That is who I am now, and that can um, I think it's somehow that's just that happening. It's like kind of all roads lead, all paths, all stories, all dimensions, all everything lead to this No, I don't know if that's true. That's just my sense of it all leads to this. It's not exactly what?
Because I could just hear the church bells ring. So I'm expecting Richard to walk through the door any minute. That's all right. All right. Sorry. So, aside.
He's given mass this evening, is he?